Dead Tanox. What happened here? I better take a look at the bodies. Oh, these wounds. Tanox died fighting something. But what? My focus might show me more. Something ripped through this tree. Whatever killed those Tanox was powerful. A fishing trap. It looks like the Tanox kicked it over when they got here. There. Tracks. A fire claw. those Tanoth. What are they doing out here in the first place? Maybe I can keep following their tracks. Still in this fight. Green shine. Those Tanoth might have been trying to collect this stuff when the machine attacked. They made a run for it, but didn't make it. Be a long fight if I stick to shock ammo. Don't get much use out of shock ammo. Did it! The locator shows there's another recording in there. I need power to get this door open. Guess I better hope there's a battery somewhere around here. Vines are clearing up.
You really believe these robots getting loose is an accident? That they can't be stopped? Wake up and smell the spin. So what? This is some sort of intra-corporate conspiracy? You think Pharaoh and the others are depopulating the planet? Exactly. Pharaoh, Metallurgic, FBMH. We're being slaughtered so the CEOs and their cronies can claim what's left. We're a sacrifice.
Pharaoh might have been responsible, but he couldn't stop the machines. That was the problem.
You've got a good eye.
Some... Gotta keep an eye on this crew. That kid stood up to Kara for her. Color me impressed.
screen shine for something special. Going down! Bridgewater ammo's not much use here. Stop looking already. Acid could work against that machine.
I see you, champion. Sit, please. A caravan of Asura make camp in the still sands south of here. We've tolerated them so far. But their leader's a greedy profiteer. He steps out of line, I'll gladly send the whole camp packing.
That's fair enough. Sounds like the Osir are taking quite a risk being out here. Maybe I should talk to them. Find out what they're doing.
You shouldn't miss this chance to... Next time, perhaps you could make a purchase.
Like the band.
Well, they didn't have two left feet, like I do.
I could teach you.
From the look on your face,
I got Omega clearance.
as soon as you give our new Quen friend, the moment she laid out...
Sounds... Now that I have Omega, we can grab Hephaestus and...
Can't wait to see their faces as they...
Better them than us. Once got...
What?
I'm glad...
Don't forget.
I should...
Of course.
Welcome back.
Good to be...
Varl gave her a new... Though she turned so pale. She has...
Sounds... Read anything?
I found... Apparently it helped soothe that and some sort of cleanse their aura.
How are things with that?
Slightly quieter. Apparently the old one called me. You'd think...
I need to...
Right. That means we'll be...
Aloy!
Right to work,
There's just... I mean, we knew... Oh, she's, and genetically speaking, of course. And there's more, of course. And Eric Visser is with... And then there's...
Okay. We take it one step.
You're right. I also...
You mentioned...
The Zenith? He is known to combing through data related to weapons, knowledge our rulers use to conquer and expand. That's why he's one of our most but it appears he's even more ruthless than we ever imagined. Yet,
Well...
if
Beta mentioned...
whatever, like...
You said you owed me an explanation.
Right. He was an Imperial. As such, he sponsored many diviners to search the legacy for him. He took a special interest in whom we considered the...
Ted Faro,
I know better now. Anyway, the divine... In fact, many of the most... So the Emperor's nephew come across the ocean might solve... If only we could find the right data in this fate. Perhaps we could roll back the floods and storms that... The Emperor declared that all the tribe's resource, dozens of ships, scouting missions, and the Emperor's nephew was named Sio. The living It may seem strange now. We really believe... We had no idea just...
You said what happened?
We lost and scores of soldiers, and that was before. Once we landed, and we struggled, but nothing improved this. He became more, and you heard him. We knew these weren't the words of a sane man, but he was cool.
What a great guy.
The Quen are wrong about many things when it comes to the legacy. I can see that, but what the CO became was a complete principal divine. I'm sorry you had to endure his madness. I'm just...
So, Bohai.
He won't execute people on a whim, but he's hardly a paragon of... I can't tell you how many times he took credit for... The best thing I can say about him to always...
Yep, some... The answer.
Yes and no. The answer... Those whose legacy taught us warfare, leadership, and...
The CO called Elizabeth Sobek an assistant.
Right. Well, any old one who has made minor contributions or worked extensive one of the ancestors, that's how we thought of so. Our limited access to data past the misinformation.
You mentioned the reason you came.
Her name is Alika. When I passed the divination exams, it brought honor to our family. Only Alika begged me not to leave for the...
Why?
Alika knew that once you enter, you're not even your family. Unless you can get special permission.
Sounds harsh.
Like the focuses we keep, diviners are few in number. Well, fearful. Last time I was allowed to see my family was just because of my position. I was able to get them refuge from the floods. But if our crops don't recover soon, they'll starve.
I promise. Back at the greenhouse, you spoke of...
Diviners are meant to seek out the truth, and many Imperials sponsor them in that the Empire can put to use. Thus, but the Board of Overseers detrimental to the stability, like discovering one of our revered ancestors. That is why diviners are only allowed to access segments. Only overseers can view it all. It ensures that any...
What happens to diviners who break...
I never had the courage to ask.
I see you've been...
It's been fascinating. What would have taken me, like the database you helped with this? This could revolutionize... That is... whatever.
You wanted data, you'll...
A diviner has never had this sort of unsupervised... And knowing you, I suspect there is... But I was sent here to help you. Maybe it'll help the Quen find their...
I imagine you'd...
It's funny, because... One... Not that you are the... I mean, you are, as it... But even so...
Yeah. I hope everyone's...
Oh, yeah. And they... share... It's refreshing. Back home, diviners can only share data with the permission from...
Sounds restricted.
Yeah, you are not...
I need...
The plan, Gaia, it will help.
I hope so.
Then...
There she is.
Maniacs, lava.
I'll remember that next...
At least I got what we needed.
Good thing I got my gear ready then.
You...
Ha! I've just...
He'll do fine. Have you...
Yeah, I gotta sit, but...
Ash, I'll give you the... Well, now I know where metal flowers come from. Last-ditch effort to stop the Pharaoh Plague. Demeter must have started distributing them after it took refuge in the greenhouse.
So that's where the rebels chose to take a stand. Aloy, well met. We've been briefed on our and are ready whenever you wish.
Were you able to finish the new...
Indeed.
How are your studies?
I looked up this pharaoh, Gaius, and learned about the plague of machine. To think that the ancient world was wiped out by... There is no glory or honor in such a fate.
That about sums it up. Have you spoke...
The Quen is peculiar. Her mind is sharp, but it's hard to imagine her so...
Trust me.
I will take your word.
You wanted to talk about...
Indeed.
Okay.
Not how. Where. Will you right where the river bends?
Sure, if you want.
You'll see when we get there.
Then I'll let you know when I...
You have my thanks.
I have to...
Then...
Like I said, I'll call you when I'm close to Regala's old...
May the 10 go...
Welcome back.
Okay, data module's in.
Excellent choice. Aloy, I know your experience in Thebes was unsettling, but we have a new problem.
Did something go wrong with Beta and the rig? Will we be able to transport you to Gemini?
The rig is complete. The problem is Hephaestus itself. It has accelerated its proliferation throughout the Cauldron network, increasing its power.
But with your sub-functions restored, we can still succeed, right?
Correct. But the net effect is that absorbing Hephaestus will take longer than previously calculated.
How long?
Even with Omega clearance, my current estimate is that the merge will take 35 hours.
And each hour increases the risk of detection by the Zeniths. Two cores. Two overrides. What if the merge were carried out by two clones of Elizabeth Sobek, both armed with Omega clearance? How long then? Half the time?
Hephaestus would be unprepared for the simultaneous labor of two operators, in addition to obvious synergetic efficiencies. Calculating. It would reduce the merge time to approximately 4.5 hours.
Okay. Varl, it looks like we're gonna need Beta at Gemini. Do you think you can convince her?
I don't know, but I'll try.
What about our diversion? Are the pulse generators ready?
Only a final test remains. I am confident that if fired in proximity to other cauldrons, the pulses will mask our activities at Gemini from the Zeniths.
Good. As long as Aaron can operate one without shooting himself in the face.
Aloy, you better get down here. Beta's in bad shape.
Okay.
Aloy, I believe...
I know. I just...
As you wish.
How's all of us?
As soon as she arrived, Alva was a particular file soon. Information about a machine assistant devoted to keeping living spaces neat and orderly. I informed her that once I am empowered with the abilities of Hephaestus, I may be able to design...
I'm sure she'll... So our plan to
As you wish. We now know...
Which is why I got Ted...
Correct. While you were gone, when we get to Gemini, I will need to be in the second core.
And then you'll be able to...
Not quite. You will need to manually remove Hephaestus.
How long will that...
Because the work will be split between you and Beta, it will take approximately...
And during that, the others will create a distraction for us.
Correct. They will each... The energy surge should...
And then we'll have everything we need to defeat this... So, what do you think Ted would have done if his life extension treatments had worked?
It seems he convinced himself it was his... Given the tribal nature and his ability to use Omega, I imagine he would have convinced to worship him as their...
Okay. Aside from Gaia Prime, and there was one other underground facility that was sealed before the Pharaoh Plague reached it. Elysium. The place where Zero Dawn's staff and their families... Do you know what happened to it?
Elysium was designed to provide life support for 100... My data indicates the facility...
Did the Pharaoh Plague...
Unknown. My...
The missing subordinate function.
Artemis rewilded the Earth with a variety of animal species. Eleuthia was responsible for gestating, nurturing, and acculturating a new generation of human beings. Apollo was tasked with preserving, organizing, and disseminating vast archives of human knowledge and cultural achievements. Unfortunately, all archived Apollo
Ted.
Yes. An igneous conclusion to his pathological narcissism, impulsive tendency.
All three of the missing function, or were... Do you still need...
Restoring, empowering, unfortunate, attaining them in...
I guess our best shot at recovering, but we'll need Hephaestus and a bunch of combat machines.
Correct.
I'll be on my way.
I wish you safe.
We're doing this for the team, Errant. Come on.
Aloy. I tried, but it's impossible.
We don't have a choice.
Good luck.
Beta, you have to come with us. It's the only way. It's one mission. Tell me why you won't go. What if they take me back? Alone. Laurel and I will be at Gemini too. I'll protect you. As soon as we get Hephaestus, we'll come straight back here. The Zeniths aren't going to find us. You don't have to be afraid. No! You can't protect me. Nothing can protect me from... I told you from the beginning we'll never... Beta. Leave me alone! You don't understand! You're right. I don't understand. We have the same genes, the same mind, the same heart. So why can't you find the strength to do what has to be done? Like Elizabeth would. Don't you think I've thought about that? I don't know what piece of Elizabeth I'm missing. I don't know what you have that I don't. I look through all the data from your focus. You were raised as an outcast, shunned, and isolated just like me, so what's the difference? What's my defect? Beta. You don't have a defect. Beta. Look, it's not a piece of Elizabeth. The difference is, I had him. Frost. He raised you, trained you, but he was never warm or loving. The day he died, the day he gave you that charm, he was going to abandon you. He wanted me to embrace the tribe. But then he gave his life for mine. He loved me in his own way. And that was enough. What did it feel like? It was like having the strength that was always there. It's still there. Even now I hear him in my head when things get bad. When it looks impossible, look deeper. And then fight like you can win. You don't have to go on a mission. We'll find another way. I'll go. You said you'd try to protect... But you have to promise me one thing. Yes, of course. If it goes bad... If the Zeniths find us, I don't want to be their slave again. Okay? Promise? I promise. I could use as much time as you can give me to study it to make it as efficient as possible. I'll be ready when you are. I swear.
Aloy, whenever you're ready, come speak to me and I'll ask the others to make final preparations for the mission.
Pizza?
Apparently it tastes worse the longer it takes to be delivered. Or something like that.
Maybe you can find the recipe?
I think it was just flat bread. With cheese. And some sauce.
I like it already.
Not at all. The ones Gaia and Beta built. Is everything...
Not anymore.
To understand one another. Oh, and...
You mentioned there was something...
Yes. I found references to an old world. It's called Leviathan. My people... A sprawling network of river gates, and the legacy revealed that the... But... We've never... But the data from the greenhouse mentions the It's in San Francisco.
Another pharaoh?
No. Leviathan was a project by Eileen Sasaki. So, the legacy tells us, if we can acquire that data, we might be... Every year, my sister gets terrified when the long rains begin. With Leviathan...
Okay.
That's the thing. But one of our diviners has been exploring the... Would you come with me? You're much better at fighting machines.
Of course.
Thank you.
Must be strange. And here on Earth.
Yeah, it is. Maybe Nikita around. The legacy tells us she... Or Sung Jiao. It is said she... But my curiosity... Our view of... Perhaps it is better...
Any more data?
All of it? We knew the ancestor... In fact, we theorized... But Sirius is way... And we thought journeying across the ocean would be the sheer calculations needed for space travel.
Even so, the Quen are way ahead of... Where I grew up, from a fire lit by the goddess to guide us through the night. Have you...
A little... I did hear her singing with Varl not too long ago. So seemed so... Like, every emotion she had. And she looked...
You should ask...
Maybe.
If you...
You have nothing... Gaia's explained your plan. I've even... You know...
What kind of...
He...
For now. I should make
Mayor...
And Like I said, I'll let you know when I'm in Len.
I appreciate it.
Hello again, Aloy. Hello, Aloy.
So,
Yes. I am despite the unpleasant I am pleased to see you have both...
Well, two heads are better than one.
Yes. Are you ready to depart, or we can continue our conversation?
So, she's been through so much.
You have both endured. Different in almost... I like to think of you as two miracles.
3, then. When I set out to find... I never thought we'd be here. Like the...
They have all... Varl has once the Bible.
Yeah, that's... So what will happen?
All systems within this facility, as Minerva will no longer... The facility will be... Though without my presence,
Let's hope so. Gaia?
Her presence is interwoven with my memories. We exchanged greetings, name. It was the first of many listening to her stories.
Your friend?
Yes. When I reviewed the data on your focus, I was saddened to learn of her fate, though I am glad she made it home.
She was okay with that. Thanks, Gaia. Okay, people. It's time to head out.
I'll get everyone together.
Connections in place. Booting up.
Beta, Aloy. I am fully installed on this core and ready to connect to the Cauldron network.
It's good to hear your voice. Errand, everyone. Fire your pulses and sound off.
I'm at my Cauldron. This thingy, it's blinking. Did I do it right? In position at my Cauldron. My pulse generator is blinking also.
That means they're working. I'm in position, and mine is too. Mine as well.
Okay. Radio silence until I give the all clear. Signing off. Gaia, let's cage the beast.
Connecting to the Cauldron network now.
Elizabeth Sobek, Alpha Prime, activating Omega clearance. Elizabeth Sobek, Alpha Prime, activating Omega clearance.
Clearance confirmed. Initiating containment sequence.
Critical threat detected. Imperative escape containment. Applying countermeasures.
Lock it down!
Terminating external connections.
It's working. It's got nowhere to go.
Capture imminent. Initiate contingency 13F.
Wait, what's that?
Malware detected. Attempting to compensate.
Containment.
It's cracked.
Look!
defenses. Directive neutralize.
That means machines are on their way. Get ready!
Here they come!
Varl, stay here. Protect Beta.
Got it.
Be careful.
I'll get you! Stay back! Get back!
That's all of them for now. I better check on Beta and Varl. You two okay?
Still breathing.
Aloy, Hephaestus can't escape, but it must have fled. Deeper into the facility. I'll drive it back here. I'll get the cracked core. I'll get the cracked core fixed in the meantime. Keep her safe, Varl.
On my life.
Okay, let's see. Oh, wow, that's a lot of damage. Right, first things first. These wires aside. Okay, I gotta chase after Hephaestus. Force it out of wherever it's hiding. Make it retreat to the core. No, you don't, Hephaestus! I'll find another way over. Glide in.
Aloy, I'm patched into your focus feed. You should know there's a huge power draw coming from the next chamber.
Thanks for the heads up. I'm almost there. It's some kind of production chamber. Hephaestus is up to something, all right?
What kind of machine is it trying to build?
I don't know, but I'm gonna shut it down. I bet those metal carriers will lead me to where it's getting materials from.
I bet that's where Hephaestus is hiding too.
Looks like there are a couple of ways I could go. Well, that doesn't sound good. machines are making a beeline for another chamber. I better follow them. Over the shield.
Aloy, I've managed to rewire most of the components in the core, but the energy processor's cracked. Without a way to fabricate another one, there's no way I can fix it.
Okay, let me think. What if you bypass the processor? Connect it to...
power node. I think that could work.
I think it could. I should be able to catch a ride on one of those metal carriers.
Should be a node you can override, near the central platform.
Thanks. I should take these machines first. Time to let go.
Increase incendiary loadout 141%. Activating countermeasures deploying secondary defenses.
Oh, great. More machines on the way. Beta! Hephaestus has locked me out of the node. Any ideas?
I'll see what I can do. I tapped into the core's network hub. I managed to disrupt Hephaestus' control of the node. You should be able to override it now.
Nice. Thanks.
It's C Mark 8 and R Mark 4.
It sounds like it fled to another chamber.
Well, I better not get comfortable.
Energy containment saves.
Great. Hephaestus covered the floor with lightning. I gotta find a way over it.
Aloy! More machines keep coming! Please tell me you're getting close!
I'm working on it. I've been smashing through a lot of machines on my side, too.
I guess Aaron's missing out!
Anyway, I'm making progress on the bypass, but I need something to hold the cycling module together.
Maybe a ligament from one of the machine carcasses?
Right. Or some luminous braiding.
And you could reinforce it with a conversion cylinder.
For increased connectivity! I think...
Alright. To drive Hephaestus out of here.
There should be another node to override.
Got it. There's fire against it. Oh, here we go again.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. I'll try to get your access back.
One roasted machine coming right up.
Node access restored. Now you can operate it.
Good work.
You did the heavy lifting.
Okay. This is running out of places to hide.
Aloy? I just registered a huge energy surge back in the production chamber. Something big is happening.
Here too. Everything's glowing.
This was building. It must have finished it.
It's powerful. Whatever it is. I'm almost done with the core repairs. Should we come to you? Maybe I could distract the machine if...
No, Vader. Just stay where you are, okay? Handling the machines in my job.
Be safe.
Scan it first. This thing's on its legs and glowing. I think it's charging up. It's charging. It's covered in plasma. It's done.
You did it! There should be one more node to override.
Good. Stand by. I'm sending Hephaestus back to you. No more hiding, Hephaestus!
Got it! Hephaestus is back in the core!
Make sure it stays there. I'm heading back.
And then we can start the merge.
Because of you, Beta. I'm glad you came along. And you, Carl. We couldn't have done any of this without you.
Right back at you, Aloy.
The bike... The core is stable. Festus is 100% contained. And we better get started with the merge. It's all set up. Gaia, establish the link, please.
Done.
To complete the merge, we need to excise Hephaestus' malicious code. Carefully.
Redundant copy. You cost us quite a lot of time. Eric, get Beta. And squash that bug while you're at it.
Get behind me.
Come on! Quit screwing around.
Yeah, we're having fun, right?
Finally. Tilda, get Gaia and Hephaestus ready for transport. Tilda!
I failed.
Hush. All is not lost.
Tilda! What the hell are you doing? Stop her! I can't even see her!
Beta. Farrell. Where am I?
Ah, you're awake. You took quite a hit when Gerard attacked you. I imagine you must still be in a great deal of pain. I can assure you that we are safe. The others can't detect us here.
You mean the other Zeniths? You must be Tilda.
I wasn't sure if Beta would have told you about me.
Where is she?
Alive. And while she isn't where she wants to be, not in urgent danger. We must discuss how to get her back, of course, after you've shaken off the cobwebs. When you're ready, take the stairs down the hall and come see me. In the meantime, I'll make breakfast.
Breakfast. Okay. Why did Tilda bring me here? Clean. Some kind of survival bunker. What is this?
Just a few favorites from my collection. Rescued and stored here just before I went off-world. Take a look, if you like. I'm curious to hear your impressions.
My friend is dead. Beta and Gaia are gone, and you want me to look at old paintings?
Don't be so quick to dismiss the comfort we can find in art, or the insight we might gain. My favorite pairing on the left is Woman Reading a Letter by Vermeer, a true master. And on the right is a forgery, Woman Reading Music, which fooled experts into believing it was a priceless original. Early in my career, I became fascinated with such deceptions. Eventually, I developed scanning software that could detect fakes with unparalleled accuracy.
Is that how you made enough money to buy your way onto the Odyssey?
Oh no. I made my real fortune later.
Why do you keep the forgery?
I've always enjoyed studying the two side by side. Both painters capture light, color, and perspective. But what makes one a masterpiece and the other simply an imitation?
The forgery looks... sharper?
Good eye. The details are crisp. The contrast bold. It tells us more, and yet we feel less.
What's in the letter?
Who can say? What does the painting tell you?
She's... concerned. Whatever's written in the letter troubles her. A burden she can't put down.
Fascinating.
Why go through so much effort to make a fake masterpiece?
The forger initially painted under his own name, but found little success. His work was considered unremarkable. But when he took on the guise of Vermeer, suddenly it was celebrated as extraordinary.
But it was a lie. And he knew it.
Sometimes we struggle to glean what is real and imagined, even within ourselves. The irony of these two is that Vermeer died in obscurity. He had no idea his work would become some of the most precious, most copied, most preserved pieces in all history. Selene and Endymion. She's the goddess of the moon, whereas he's a simple shepherd. Beside her is the god of love, Cupid.
So she's... sneaking up on him?
More like visiting him in secret. The torch that Cupid bears represents Selene's undying infatuation with him. Though the two must remain apart, her love will forever burn.
And why can't Selene and Endymion be together?
Selene took a vow of chastity, promising to never take a lover. So when she fell in love with Endymion, she could only visit him at night while he slept.
But then wouldn't she be breaking that vow?
Think of it as a forbidden love. Though circumstance keeps them apart, still they find a way to come together, however briefly.
Aren't Selene and Endymion cold?
Perhaps we should move on to another piece. Shall we move on? This is Rembrandt painting Jeremiah, a man in mourning.
Mourning what?
His home. The ancient city of Jerusalem. He foresaw its impending doom, but could do nothing to prevent it. So instead, he saved its treasures from destruction, just as I saved these works. You could say we're kindred spirits.
About Jeremiah. If he knew his home would be destroyed, why didn't he save the people? Why save those relics?
He tried, but no one would listen to his warning, so he saved what he could.
But how did he know?
He was a prophet. He saw an army invade and destroy the city in a vision.
So it's more like he calculated which side would win a battle.
What matters is that he was right in the end. If not for him, all those wonders would have been lost forever. At least this way, some part of his world survived. You know what I like the most about this piece? Even though he's the sole survivor, his home in ruins, left with only the remnants of his world. The light keeps the shadows at bay.
There's still hope.
Precisely. Take as long as you like. A portrait of the painter, Rembrandt's son Titus, depicted in the habit of a monk.
I don't get it. Why would someone like you, with infinite resources, care about this painting of a boy in a hood?
It's not the image itself, but the feeling it conveys. The face is bright and defined, but his eyes are downcast, heavy with misfortune. And the background seems to swallow all light. The painting is infused with a sense of loss.
I guess I understand how the painter feels.
Works of art such as these can often cause us to look inwards at our own lives. I'm sorry about your friend. Had I been able to intervene, I would have. But the risk of losing you as well was too great.
Everything went by in a blur. I couldn't get to him.
You know, long before holograms and focus recordings, people relied on art to memorialize their loved ones. Because of works like this painting, their lives are immortalized. Rembrandt had 4 children by his wife. All but Titus died shortly after she gave birth to them. She passed not long after that. Titus became the only family Rembrandt had.
Which is why he painted him this way.
Indeed. Then tragedy struck again. Disease claimed Titus at 26. It's almost as if Rembrandt painted the future, closing in on him. Rembrandt actually painted several portraits of Titus, but this one has always been my favorite. It's honest.
What do you mean?
In others, Titus was portrayed in brighter, livelier states, but here, Rembrandt allows himself to express his true feelings. Sorrow, fear, hope, love. Laid bare on canvas for all time. I see this one resonates deeply with you. Rembrandt's The Night Watch, by far the most famous painting my homeland ever produced. It was commissioned to honor a militia made up of influential citizens.
I guess you must have been an influential citizen.
In my day. But not as influential as you've been in this new world.
The militia. They look disorganized.
Where others painted such scenes in a stiff and stationary manner, Rembrandt chose to show them in action, preparing to march. He wanted them to feel alive. You can almost hear the commotion.
Who's the girl in the painting?
She's a strange one, isn't she? Bathed in light, though no one is paying attention to her. Many believe she's a symbol of the militia. A physical manifestation of their spirit, if you will.
But she's not real?
What's real in a painting? She's meant to represent the militia's virtue and victory. But I like to think they underestimate her. She looks as if she's seen something. What does she know? What secrets does she keep? There's so much detail to take in, isn't there? The Gust by Willem van de Velde, the most famous of his many maritime paintings.
A ship crossing into the unknown. I guess you're familiar with that.
Indeed, which is why I appreciate this composition in particular. Though waves and wind threaten to destroy the ship, it perseveres, clinging to the light even as darkness closes in all around it.
Where is the ship going?
To a faraway land, most likely. My ancestors used ships like these to explore the world, sometimes at great cost.
What were they looking for?
Anything of value. They were traders willing to face unknown dangers to make their fortunes. But no matter how far they went, they always turned their sails home.
So this Van de Velde only painted ships?
It was his specialty. Following in the footsteps of his father, Willem the Elder. The two had quite a journey of their own, taking them all the way to the court of a foreign kingdom.
Did they ever come home?
No, but eventually their lives' work did. Take your time. Stunning, isn't it? Paintings weren't the only masterpieces of my people's golden age. This is Van Vianen's leaded ewer, molded from a single sheet of silver.
What was it for?
How like Elizabeth you are. Function over form. Its practical purpose was less important than its meaning. Van Vianen created it in honor of his late brother, who himself was a famous silversmith.
A memorial?
Yes. Such beauty from sorrow.
If this ewer was a memorial, how did you end up with it?
As the Pharaoh swarm closed in, my homeland's greatest museum gave it to me, along with many other works, in the hope that I could preserve them. A masterpiece like this was too important to lose to history. I even considered bringing it with me off-world to ensure its safety.
Why didn't you?
I took a calculated risk. This vault seemed more secure than the unknowns of space. Besides, I thought someday I might return. A long life, after all, has its advantages. Now, lo and behold, here I am. Exquisite, isn't it?
A lot of weight on his shoulders. I know the feeling. I should move on. She's pulling out her own hair. Out of madness? Out of grief? It's hard to watch her suffer. I should move on.
There you are. Feeling better?
How did you find us? At the cauldron? And what did you do to everyone right before I passed out?
All business, I see. Well, suffice it to say we were keeping a very close eye on Hephaestus, knowing we would need it at some point. Your ruse didn't fool us, and as for my little trick, it was an overload of the senses. accompanied by an energy discharge. Gerard and Eric were only momentarily disoriented due to their shields, but it rendered you unconscious while I got you out. Perhaps some breakfast might steady you a bit?
This was your house. The one you recreated for Beta, in the data channel you shared.
How perceptive of you. Please, this way.
After everything your people have done, you think I'm just gonna sit down and have a chat with you?
They're not my people. They never were, and especially not now.
You shot off into space with them, and lived with them for 1,000 years before coming back. So what made you suddenly turn on them?
Quite simply, this.
My old focus. You repaired it? But that means you've seen...
incredible things. What you've accomplished in 2 decades of life. A 1,000 years at my back and I haven't even come close. I'm sorry if I invaded your privacy, but I had to. In order to understand. To be enlightened. You truly are Elizabeth's blood. With her drive, her sense of mission, her integrity. Watching all this shamed me for the company that I've kept. Having seen it, all I want is to help you.
Even if it means stopping your friends?
Especially so. Please, sit down. There. That's better. Now, we must recover Beta and Gaia at all costs. By now, you must know that Gerard intends to use Gaia to reboot the Earth's biosphere. Remaking this world to specifications that would only suit us immortals. This process will kill every living thing on the planet. He calls it a clean install.
Not if I stop him first.
Not if we do. And once he and the others are gone, we can work together to fulfill Elizabeth's dream. I'm sure Beta told you that there's a build of the Apollo database on board our ship. A complete collection of human knowledge. With that and Gaia, we could do everything Elizabeth wanted. Heal the biosphere, educate the people of this world, uplift them. Create the world she imagined.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. From what I've seen, your friends are invincible.
I do wish you would stop calling them my friends. And they're not invincible. In fact, a friend of yours has found a way to defeat them.
Silence.
Oh, he's been a busy bee, building an army powerful enough to crash through Gerard's precious base.
Yeah. Regala and her rebels.
Even now she's preparing a final march on the Tenakth capital. When she wins, she'll have the entire tribe under her control. Hundreds of warriors and machines to throw at the base. She's been duped. They'll all perish, of course. But it should be enough to break Gerard's defenses and allow Silence to kill him. Along with all the others.
Using the new weapon he's developed.
Yes, he's found a way to circumvent our shields. Truly an exceptional man. He's planned for everything. Except you and me. You see, while his army is battering down Gerard's doors, you and I will sneak in through a back way. One that only I know about. While Silence and my friends are busy battling each other, we'll take back Beta and Gaia. I told you I want to help you. I mean it.
Beta told me your colony was destroyed. That you came back to Earth because you had nowhere else to go.
It's true. After we reached our destination, a planet in the Sirius star system, we spent decades building a new home. The physical constraints of Earth, the boundaries of mortality, gone. To think of what we could have done with it. It might have been a utopia. Instead, we stagnated, absorbed in effortless comforts and virtual realities. It took a cataclysm to finally yank us out of our stupor.
What happened?
A massive geological event. We knew of instabilities in the planet core, but we underestimated them. By the time the collapse was upon us, it was too late to stop it. Only a few of us made it to the ship in time. We set course for Earth, the only safe harbor left to us.
Which you decided to make unsafe for anyone else.
Not me. Gerard. He believes it's better to wipe the canvas clean than work around the smudges. No more primitive tribes, no more combat machines, only a blank slate to do with as he pleases. But we will stop him. All we have to do is get into that base.
What exactly is your plan to sneak into the Zenith base?
We will make use of a lesson I learned from an early age. Always know your exits. In this case, a place where Gerard's new construction meets the ancient foundation, a passage that only I can access. When Silence flings his army at the base, we will enter through this back door, bypassing most of the fighting. The distraction will provide us with a window in which to rescue Beta and Gaia.
Once we're inside the base, where will we find Beta and Gaia?
Here in the command center. By then, Gaia will have been reunited with all of its subordinate functions, including Hephaestus.
What about the alpha build of Apollo on your ship?
A simple matter of recovery once the others have been dealt with. With that in hand, we'll have everything we need to make this world as it should be.
You said Beta is not in urgent danger, so what are the Zeniths doing to her?
Putting her to work. Merging Hephaestus with Gaia. A difficult, time-consuming task, as I'm sure you know. They will compel her if need be. But her life is not in danger. She's the only one who can do it.
Because you people made her to be nothing but a tool.
Gerard's idea, not mine. They always viewed me with suspicion when I attempted any form of kindness towards her. That's why I created the data channel. A virtual place where we could speak in peace.
So this channel you shared with Beta, none of the other Zeniths ever found out about it?
Gerard believes he's the most cunning of all of us. Even after 1,000 years, he still can't imagine that I would outwit him. The channel allowed me to interact with Beta away from their mistrustful eyes. It offered us a chance to be ourselves.
Until you cut off all contact.
Yes. Though it pained me. I was worried that our meetings would do her more harm than good.
Well, she felt like you tossed her aside.
I was afraid the others would find out and punish her. She may not have had the comforts of friendship anymore, but at least I ensured she was safe. I know it seems harsh, but you must believe that her well-being has always been paramount to me.
Why did you make the data channel look like this place?
I built this house as a shelter to weather any storm. A safe place. Not just for me, but for the art stored below. Cultural artifacts of incalculable value. Truly some of the greatest achievements of human civilization.
And you wanted Beta to see them?
Yes. Her upbringing was so cold and technical. I thought if she could experience Vermeer and Rembrandt, it would bring something else into her life. A heritage every bit as valuable as the scientific and technical data being drummed into her. I'm sorry I had to cut off contact, but I'll never regret sharing this house with her. She needed its shelter even more than I did.
How do you know about Silence's plan?
He isn't the only one adept at spyware.
You hacked his focus?
No, he's too careful for that. But his subordinates? Not so much. He gave additional focuses to the tribals he branded the Sons of Prometheus.
The ones working with Regala.
By tapping their focuses, I learned about most of his dealings. The distribution of override technology, the arming of Tanakh rebels, and the secret pact with Regala to attack Gerard's base.
But how did he come up with a weapon that can take down your shields?
That's the one thing I haven't been able to figure out, but however he did it, I'm quite certain it will work. With it and the Tanakh army, victory seems to be within his grasp. Such a shame he'll be disappointed.
Regala's only interested in killing Hikaru and waging war on the Karja. What does she have to gain by attacking Zenith?
It's the price she must pay for her war. Without the ability to override machines, her little rebellion would have languished in the desert.
So she trades with the Sons of Prometheus. Machines to help her overthrow Hikaru.
In exchange for an assault on the base. Pride has deluded her into thinking she can actually survive such a battle. And all without ever knowing who the Sons of Prometheus really answer to. Yet for all of Silence's brilliance, still he underestimates you. That blind spot is what will allow us to take Beta and Gaia right out from under him.
While hundreds of Tanakh are cut down outside. So you knew Elizabeth. What was she like?
Liz was everything she was. I see in you. And more. Your ingenuity, your determination, your moral compass. You've managed to distill her greatest qualities and make them your own.
I'm not asking about me. Tell me about Elizabeth. What was she really like?
The honest answer is that I don't actually know. For all the time that I spent with her, she always kept a part of herself locked away. It was like that from the moment we met.
So when you met Elizabeth, she was what? Distant? Aloof?
Not aloof. Not exactly. It was a summit in Paris about machine learning, a touchy subject in those days, because regulatory authorities were just starting to clamp down on AIs. Liz gave the keynote address. She had already achieved great renown for her work in automated environmental reclamation. But in her address, she was just starting to imagine the next step. An AI-driven system that wouldn't just act on its programming, but actually take responsibility for its sphere of influence.
To care about life. Not just follow orders.
Revolutionary stuff. I was fascinated. And I wanted to meet her for a long time. I watched her after her talk. She had spoken with such moral authority, such empathy. But after that, she retreated. I could tell she felt uncomfortable with all of her admirers. It was as if giving the talk had cost her something. I didn't want to be a pest, so I planned my approach carefully.
So how did you finally approach Elizabeth after her talk?
I picked the right moment. The morning of the next day, right as she came back to the conference, she had just had her coffee. She was fresh, rested. It was like she had braced herself for the onslaught of colleagues. I asked if I could walk with her, then put forth a question about her talk that I thought was intelligent. Her answer made me realize it wasn't, but she was very welcoming. Almost as if we were previously acquainted. It was only halfway through the conversation that I realized she knew exactly who I was. It was quite a shock to me. My business was trafficking in secrets, and I took great pains to protect my anonymity. So that was Liz, perpetually one step ahead. I came to view our meeting as a metaphor for our friendship. She always seemed to know me far better than I knew her.
I guess I know the feeling. My old focus. How did you find it, let alone repair it?
When we encountered you at the Hades Proving Lab, Gerard saw you as a redundancy. I knew better. You were a revelation. After your dramatic escape, bravo, by the way. Gerard and Eric assumed you were dead and gave up the hunt. I wasn't so sure. When the others were busy, I returned to the lab and searched for any trace of you. That's when I found this little treasure. Not easy to repair, but certainly worth the effort. As I watched your life unfold, you were like a splash of color on a worn canvas. What Liz was, and more.
Did you show it to the others?
Of course not. It was your actions that inspired me to defy them. It's worth noting that if I hadn't found it and watched its contents, I wouldn't have known to save you at the cauldron. You'd be dead.
So I should be grateful?
If you like.
So you know all about me. What about you?
What would you like to know?
Well, start with your life on Earth.
When I was 8, terrorists flooded my home city. Thousands drowned, my parents included. I was one of the few who survived. My guardian sent me to boarding school. Among my peers, I was the strange girl, the orphan to be avoided. All because of circumstances beyond my control.
Oh. So we're a lot alike, huh?
Aren't we? You were an outcast. But you didn't let that stop you from getting what you needed. Neither did I. I climbed my way out of desolation and used my wits to build a fortune. First, from the technical analysis of art and the detection of forgeries. Profitable expertise in those days. But as it turned out, the software I developed was even more useful for counterintelligence. From there, it was only a short step to gathering extremely valuable intelligence on my own.
You were a spy?
More like a service one could turn to for information. I had to remain anonymous, of course, to protect my privacy. But despite that anonymity, Far Zenith inevitably sought me out.
What happened when Far Zenith approached you?
They painted an irresistible vision of humanity's future. One where we need not fear illness or death, where we explored the furthest reaches of the stars and thrived. It was only later that I realized that they only intended to bequeath this future to the rich and powerful. By the time I finally figured it out, the walls were closing in, Pharaoh's machines were devouring the Earth. So I accepted Far Zenith's invitation to a berth on the Odyssey. I wanted Liz to come, but she had nobler plans, as you well know.
So you didn't know the other Zeniths were monsters until it was too late?
I knew some of them were. Certainly. It wasn't until we were off-planet that I understood the true scope of their greed. I was grateful to simply be alive, but the others became obsessed with a kind of effortless immortality. They built a colony where machines serviced their every need, where any memory or fantasy could be endlessly savored in virtual reality. It wasn't life. It was stultifying, a pampered dream state. As the decades passed, I withdrew more and more, alone yet again, but this time with eons to consider my mistakes. Now finally, having met you, I feel like I have a second chance.
To do what?
Help you, of course. To fulfill Liz's dream, which isn't so different from Far Zenith's original vision. A better future for humanity.
First Varl. Now Hikaru and the Tenakth. Your plan would wipe out an entire tribe. There has to be another way.
We are in an admittedly desperate situation, but I assure you there isn't. Remember Zero Dawn. Elizabeth's sacrifice. Sometimes many have to die for a new world to grow.
If it looks impossible, look deeper. Wait. The data channel. It still exists, doesn't it? I need you to open it. Let me talk to Beta.
Impossible. We might be detected.
It's worth the risk. There is another way, one where the Tenakth survive.
But we won't. If the others...
If you want to help, open it. What are they doing to her?
Virtual reality dissociation. The manual merge of Hephaestus will take hours upon hours of tedious micromanagement. If she resists the work, they run simulations to induce feelings of isolation and despair.
Beta, can you hear me?
You're alive. They're watching me. I can't hold up this extra protection for long. You should have killed me.
No. No, look at me. I'm coming for you. I promise. Okay? I just need you to hold out a little while longer and work on the merge.
Then I think it can be done.
I'll contact again when it's time. Can you hold on?
As long as I know you're coming for me, I can endure anything.
All right. I did as you asked. Now I think you need to tell me what you're planning.
I'm going to take Silent's army away. I don't need it. Only the weapon he made to penetrate your shields.
And how do you propose to get it? Ask him nicely?
Without Regala and her rebels, he won't have a choice. We'll be his only option.
Only option for what? What did you tell her?
That is between me and my sister. Will be Silent's only option for crashing that base. I'll tell you the rest later. But first, there are a couple of things I have to do.
Oh. And what are those?
Lay my friend to rest. And then I'm going to use the override that Beta gave me at Gemini to put an end to Regala's rebellion. From the air.
Wait. Since you insist on doing things your way, I know of something that will truly help you make a grand entrance with the Tenat. The ancient Horus Titans still possess electromagnetic energy cells as part of their arsenal. Drop one of those on Regala's army and they'll receive quite a surprise. So go, do what you must. I'll come to your base if you manage to bring Silence to the table.
Not if. When. Not sure where to get the parts I need. I'll have to explore more machine sites.